Guys, what's good? Ass here with another Exos series video. We got a new core raid event. How do we clear it efficiently? Let's talk about it. Alrighty, so the new core event is out and boy, I was kinda scared when I saw it contains the first guardians. But you can be relieved, the bosses don't have Dragon Blood and are fairly easy to beat if you have Dragon Blood heroes yourself. But don't worry, even if you don't have any Dragon Emperors, I show a method for you how to clear at least hard mode fairly efficiently. So let's get into it. Let's quickly go over all the abilities and then I show you a couple of strategies on how to beat it. They all share the same mechanics, so I only go over Ramsey and just explain the percentage increases. All of them are immune to status effects, debuffs and marks, so don't bring damage over time. They grant a barrier of 2% of their max HP for one round at the beginning of a round, increasing by 2% every round. A lot of rounds there. Their attack and defense will increase by 50% each round and this stacks across rounds. Both of these will be reset upon break. Lastly, they increase the health of the allies by a percentage. For Ramji that's 200%, Magi 300% and Rera 500%. Each one will have dots on S1 and S2, dealing a percentage of the target's maximum health for 5 rounds. Ramji and Rera will have a single target S1 and an AoE S2, while Magi has both AoEs. Ramji will deal 10% of the target's max health, Magi 15% and finally Rera 20%. Now here you can see why breaks are so important. First of all, you don't want them stack their barrier over and over again because it will just be hard to deal with that. Additionally, they will deal more damage as the battle goes on while you deal less damage. So breaking is really important. Alright, so let's go over some strategies. First, let's get gear and level requirements out of the way. You want all your units at 5-star and preferably level 75. 70 is okay, but you need the additional defense and block. Your gear should all be legendaries between level 30 and 40, or maybe you can get by with rares level 50, but you might need to play around with that. This will be for all of the comps, so I won't have to repeat myself. Let's go over the strategies. Let's start out with the whale mode enabled. If you have a couple of Dragon Emperors, Bathory, Olum, yeah, you already know what's up. It's #easy mode. Super easy. Next up we have the slightly less fortunate people, so it's still Dolphin mode, so you only have a couple of guardians yourself. Bathory is a bonus but not a must. Take in the ones that match the element of the stones and then fill up the rest of the slots with the remaining stones. So if you have Zeon or Magi, Anastasia, Baelish or Ramji, you're golden. If not, let me quickly tell you about another busted FG mechanic. So for my team that would be a fire unit, an ice unit, and then I usually bring a healer. This is all you need. With this you can clear special difficulty, no problem. The reason for that is as follows. So you all know Wrath will retaliate every turn, and since the bosses trigger dots, your Wrath will trigger a ton of times. What you might not know is that Wrath actually triggers all elements for all the people that have Dragon Blood stacks. So let's pretend I don't have him because I don't actually need him. I just wanted him for the element. He could be fine. So if the enemy attacks you with an AoE attack, everybody in the last row gets a Dragon Blood stack. And Wrath will retaliate with all those heroes' elements. So for the first phase it will always pick fire. The second phase it will always pick frost, and the third phase it will always pick darkness. Your guardian doesn't have to match the element, just your other team that receives Dragon Blood stacks has to. This is it, super easy. So now we get into Dolphin mode 2, and that would be having solid damage dealers, Bathory, Olum, and breaking it via that, right? For this, no guardians would be required. However, you need to supplement it with healers. So I would pick something like this. Alright, now we come to the meaty part. And it's for the free-to-play new starters or simply the unlucky ones. Now keep in mind, For this event, you will require more time, more levy stones, and you might not be able to get past hard. But at least you will be able to clear hard very easily. There are also two methods for this. However, the first one is a trap. You take a team with 2 strong healers and fill the rest of the slots with matching elements. So fire, frost and dark. This is the usual standard approach, but it's fairly inefficient. Because of the boss's ramp mechanic, over time you will deal less damage while he deals more. And it only resets when you break. With this team you will almost never break him efficiently. Okay, so this now perfectly leads us to the recommended method. You bring your healer and fill as many slots with the elements you are trying to break. The phases are fire, frost, dark. Optimally, you want to have heroes with counter or trust in order to break the stones quickly. So as mentioned before, breaks are super important, and with a team like this, you will be able to break through a phase fairly easily. If your team is strong enough, you might actually be even able to skip a phase. So with my regular fire team where I put Sabrina in, I'm strong enough where I could skip a phase and only have to deal with fire and darkness. This team won't be able to do that. They will probably get into maybe a third into frost, but then you just switch to your frost team, you clear out that phase and get a little bit into darkness, and after that you pick darkness. Darkness really sucks, so you pick 3 heroes. The best ones are, in my opinion, Adams, because he has a counter and he is actually the only counter attacker. Nurmers, just because of the damage that he can provide, and Buck, because he has thrust, but you can pick anything, it doesn't matter, you pick the ones that deal the most damage. And then you pick 2 healers / revivers in order to keep going. Under usual circumstances, you only need to run each phase once. Depending on your account, you might run it twice. And if you're really strong, you might only have to do it once at all. So here you can see my team attacks a little bit stupidly, because that's how the AI works. There's no proper priority targeting. And I hope they will use their AoEs to first of all clear the ads out, and second break the stones. As you can see here, the counters are so good because they allow you to just break the stones so much quicker. And even if your heroes don't necessarily attack the proper target, once he uses his AoE, all of them will retaliate. You can see now, boom, boom, and if I had a third one, then that would be it. So now Zeon attacks, target is broken, and here is where fire shines so much, because our units can so quickly ramp up mana and deal damage. We're almost through, like halfway through the first phase, and I think with the second break we might be able to just go into the next phase. Let's just have Kaya heal the whole team up. There we go. Hope for our big abilities. Okay, so we have a third-ish down, and there's still more to go, and that's it. So that's around what you can expect. Maybe we get halfway done. It doesn't really matter how far we go from now on, because their job is done. They cleared their phase out, and now you just want to deal as much damage to make the next phase easier, because you never know what happens, right? Yeah, you just let this run through as far as you go, and with a little bit of luck you beat this phase and you can skip through the darkness phase right away. I'm pretty sure this team won't be able to do it, but we will see. Can this be a run where we don't have to do frost phase? But once Kaya is dead, however, no, the whole run kind of falls apart. There we are, like, we're almost done. So you could try it very riskily and try to go in with the dark team right away, but I wouldn't advise that. Pick your frost team, beat this phase down, and once your frost team is beaten, pick up the dark team. It's just more efficient, because if you fail a run and you don't clear phase, then you have to repeated obviously. This is how you can go about hard mode. For extreme mode, it doesn't work with this team anymore, so we need to get into something with a little bit more kicker, and I explained it before in the Dolphin method and I just want to show it up. So we put a Guardian here, it doesn't matter which one it is, and now we put 3 other heroes in the same row. They have to be in the same row. It doesn't matter which type they are, but they have to be in the same row. So we put a fire one in here. It can be anybody, but counters are always appreciated. We do this, and then I do Spica. And I just put her in the back row to get the bonus. And lastly, we pick Kaya again because she is amazing. We will skip directly to the boss because watching it is kind of annoying. And once we're there, I will show you exactly how that mechanic works. Alright, so now we're at the boss. So we're currently in the 3rd phase, right? And we need to break the Darkness Stone. I could have picked any Guardian. Rara doesn't have the Darkness type. So once Maggie attacks, preferably with her AoE, we will get Dragon Blood stacks on our team. And once that happens, because every time the dot ticks, our Wrath will counter and we will break the stone. Let's go. Okay. And there you could see it. Wrath broke the 1st stone, or the 4th stone. And Wrath will trigger again. Come on, trigger. And boom. She is broken. And from that point on, you just clean the fight up. It works through all the phases, and this actually works also for the special difficulty because Wrath is busted. So yeah, this is how you can clear this event pretty easily. You only need to have 1 Guardian, preferably Zeon, Rara or Anastasia, just because they are the strongest. But even if you only have Baelish, Ramji or Baraka, it works exactly the same way. Wrath will deal the brunt of your damage, and you only need to follow the steps that I outlined here. And there you have it. Super simple event and achievable for most people. Even newer players, if they have a Guardian and fulfill the certain stat requirements, they can clear this event. And if you are a fairly new player with none of the heroes that I mentioned, you will still be able to run through at least hard with maybe 200 Levi stones. So in my opinion, it's super easy to do. And with that said, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe and ring the bell to not miss any of my content. Leave a like or comment, as that helps YouTube send this video to other people's recommended content as well. As always, it was a pleasure to have you here, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, enjoy the grind.